The free. Was it open for the free? I just need attention. I've been waiting all of my life. Beauty is perception. Yeah, just look inside. What's your darkest secrets that keep you up at night?
All right, people. I'm not gonna do. This is technically episode 122. We're just getting right to the point. UFC 268 starts in about 4 hours. I'm recording this at 1:56 p.m. and I'm gonna have this edited and put out right before the prelims start. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck around this episode. I'm just gonna kind of review some of the fights that I think are gonna be the best fights and kind of give you guys my picks responsibly. If you gamble, do it responsibly. Let me just preface by saying this, guys. Last weekend, shout out to my boys. We cashed out. 267. I hit a 6-leg parlay. I guessed 6 fights in a row. And then just to put the cherry on top, shout out to my friend Parker. I'm going to make this a very cool clip. Parker had a premonition, a vision, a dream of Glover Teixeira winning the light heavyweight belt. He didn't even know who Glover Teixeira was. I didn't either. But I just went with Parker. I just went with my boy's gut. And we got the W just to top off that 6-leg parlay. And then I went ahead and did a straight bet, completely solo. So we cashed out. So just to preface this, so there's a little bit of credibility that we got here. All right. Last week I hit a 6-legger. Today we're going to try and, make you guys some money. All right. So let's just get into it. The fights that I'm going to be looking at, I mean, most of it's fairly obvious, but there's a couple fighters on here that are making their debut. There's a couple fighters on here that are making their debut. There's a couple fighters on here that I have not seen live. So let's just, the early prelims, I don't recognize any of the guys. I'll check them out. I'll be watching, though. I see a lot of big favorites on here. So, I mean, the early prelims are always kind of hit or miss. If you want to have a little bit of fun, throw $1 on the money line. But I know I've seen the Jordan Williams guy before. If you go all the way down to the early prelims, I'm trying to see. Maybe it was this year he lost. I just recognize his face. I don't know much about him. I'm not even going to get into the analysis of that. Let's see. Let's go to prelims. All right, I'm just going to go from the bottom. Let's look at this Ian Kinta versus Bobby Green fight. It's not 50-50. Technically, Bobby Green is favored at -190, which is a decent favorite for, UFC. However, he's lost his last 2 fights. He lost earlier in August by decision. Well, but he's lost. All right, let's see. Ever since 2018, and I'm just looking. Oh, shit. Even 2017, all of the fights have gone to decision. So that is something to be looking at. If you want to get risky and frisky and try and do, some sort of prop bet on the roundage, round total. I know that sometimes, so I mean, these will be 3 rounds. You could do over under 1.5 rounds. So that might be something to look at with the Bobby Green versus Ian Kinta fight. Personally, and also, yeah, this too, they're both on 2-fight losing streaks, which doesn't help. Which doesn't help necessarily their case, but somebody, at the end of the day, somebody has to win. Somebody's losing streak is going to come to an end. Ian Kinta hasn't fought since 2019. It's been over 2 years. you know, he's got some big fights. I mean, he had the title fight with Khabib. He beat Jorge Masvidal. He beat Kevin Lee. His last fight, he lost to Dan Hooker and then Cowboy Cerrone. He beat Kevin Lee twice, too. And Kevin Lee's always been one of those guys who's kind of just in the mix, in the lightweights. If you go back and watch the fight with Khabib, it was a unanimous decision. And at the end of the day, Ian Kinta lost. I think he looked just as good, if not the best, that anyone has ever looked against Khabib. He didn't get, let's just look at this, just the result. He didn't get choked out. He didn't get finished. So, I mean, I personally, if I like Ian Kinta in this fight because of how he, just based solely off of how he fought Khabib. And yes, this was 3 years ago, and he is on a two fight slide. But if I think this is going to be actually a really good fight. It's kind of it's a clash of styles. Bobby Green is a grappler, jiu-jitsu guy. Ian Kinta, he's got hands for days. So I mean, and I think this will be the first fight on the card that's like, okay, this is like the appetizer, the snack before the appetizer, because we got a loaded card here. But I like Ian Kinta in this fight. Remember this. Decision, knockout. I'm not gonna guess that, but I mean, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable taking Ian Kinta by decision, just because of how both of these fighters styles kind of clash. You're gonna see kind of a feeling out period. I'm gonna guess in the first couple minutes of the first round, maybe kind of a slow start, and then that might trickle on into the second round. I think this could go to decision. These guys aren't really finishers necessarily. Okay. Next fight. We got Alex Pierre. And if you guys don't know who this fella is, boy, are we going to be in for a treat. So, I'm going to put in the clip right here. Yeah, you saw who that was, right? Alex Pierre is fighting some guy I've never heard of in my life, and personally, I don't think it matters. Andreas Michaelanadias. I believe he is Greek. This is a middleweight clash. Alex Pierre's got 4 inches on him, 4 inches in height, 3 inches in reach, and he knocked out Israel Adesanya. He is 3-1 professionally, and that record is professionally, but this is his UFC debut. And you see how much of a favorite he is, too. He's at minus 260. That's a pretty significant favorite for your UFC debut. Let me see Andreas, as he fought in the UFC. He has 2 fights in the UFC. He's 1-1. He got knocked out his first fight, decision the other one. So, I mean, he's hot. He's on a winning streak. He's on a one fight win streak this year. I want to see fireworks. I might even bet Pierre TKO KO. And I'm sure the odds probably aren't even all that. I'm sure the odds are fairly low. So that's definitely a fight that you're going to want to check out. Right, and I believe they're going to be the Ian Kinta Green fight is going to come right before or right after Pierre Andreas. Those 2 fights, like I said, this is just snacks. These are just finger foods for the appetizer. And then we have 2 championship fights. Let's go to the real appetizer. And this is probably, don't get me wrong, the main event, Usman Covington. This is like, You can't beat a sequel to that fight. Besides that fight, Justin Gaichi versus Michael Chandler is the fight that I am looking the most forward to. I mean, both of these guys are, first of all, just class acts. They respect the sport. They respect. There's like a sense of like kind of respect you can kind of see within them whenever they interact. Like and you don't see that a lot. It's like, I mean, look, let's just take a step back here. It's called martial arts. Okay, these guys are artists at the end of the day. And I can see that these guys respect the art. There's some fighters who might take it a little bit too far and get a little bit disrespectful. And sometimes maybe you got to be. Maybe you got to be to get that edge on your competition. However, somebody has to win. Gaichi hasn't fought since Khabib's last fight. Chandler, this will be his third fight this year. He beat Dan Hooker earlier in the year, which was his UFC debut. For those who don't know, Michael Chandler was a Bellator champion, the hottest prospect outside of the UFC, and then he came to the UFC. Fireworks, Hooker, next fight, got a championship opportunity against Oliveira, TKO. Oliveira is a hell of a fighter. He deserved it too. Chandler, a lot of people maybe said he didn't deserve it. The lightweight division was kind of in a weird area because Khabib vacated his title and they were looking for the interim, and so yeah. And then I mean Oliveira and Poirier will be unifying that in January, but that is beside the point. I like Justin Gaichi in this fight. I love watching him fight. He's taller than Chandler. I think this will be, which there's no way to bet on this, but I think this will be fight of the night. I think this will go, I'm not sure how many rounds they will go. Let's see. Are they going to fight 5 rounds? I don't know if they're going to fight 5 rounds, but it would not surprise me. Pretty much whoever wins this fight is gonna fight the winner of the lightweight championship between Poirier and Oliveira. Maybe Chandler gets him another shot at the belt. Either way, either one of these guys are going to get another chance to get a championship opportunity. I like Gaichi in this fight. He's 22-3. I mean, besides the Khabib fight, let's look at his past few victories. Donald Cerrone, KO. Edson Barboza, KO. James Vick, KO. Okay, two losses in a row. Dustin Poirier. Eddie Alvarez, former champion. Oh, and then let's look at this fight. Michael Johnson, KO. And then before this, before he lost to Alvarez, he was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 fight win streak spanning almost 5 years until he found his first challenge, which was in 2017, early in his UFC career, which, let's see, was his second UFC appearance. Lost to Poirier the next year, bounced back with 4 more wins, and then fights Khabib. No one's beating Khabib. And obviously, I mean, I like Gaichi in this fight. I'm going with my gut. He's the favorite. I hope this goes to decision too, but and that's the beautiful thing about these fights is it could be one punch. It could be a full-on just ground rolling around battle. And I think if it goes to the ground, Chandler will win. I mean, technically they're both, that's the thing is with these guys' styles is they're both pretty fucking balanced. Gaichi is not no bitch on the ground, but also he'll kick the shit out of you. Chandler's got hands too. I like Gaichi in this fight. I'm not just trying to pick just favorites. I mean, Ian Kinta is plus 160. I like him in this. Pierre is minus 260. I like Gaichi at minus 210. Let's go to the next fight. I'm not going to really touch. I don't really want to touch the Burgos Billy Cortinillo, because I don't really know much about them. I've heard of Burgos. I've seen some highlights. I'm not going to really say anything. I think that'll be a cool fight. I like the featherweight division right now. I feel like the featherweights are... Some people say the bantamweight is the most stacked division. I think the featherweights are, in my opinion. So I think I'm just going to be kicking back, hoping for a good fight. Maybe some fireworks, some style points. Let's talk about, speaking of bantamweight, Frankie Edgar, Chito Vera. So, I think I'm really excited to see this fight because I haven't been able to watch either of these guys live. I've just seen YouTube clips and, Instagram highlights and stuff. So this will be fun to see. Chito Vera, let's be honest here, guys. I know Sugar Sean is a fan favorite. And at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but he's the only one to beat Sean O'Malley. Who knows what would happen if O'Malley's foot didn't give out on him. But at the end of the day, it's a loss, and an L is an L. Where we at? I like watching bantamweights too. So I mean, I think this is a interesting fight. Because we were talking about the Green Ian Kinta fight where it's kind of a clash of styles. This is kind of we're probably gonna, whoever can control the ground time will probably win this fight. Frankie Edgar is a seasoned veteran. When was his first UFC fight? Let's see. We got to go all the way back to 2007. Okay, former champion. I mean, he's beaten guys. He's beaten B.J. Penn, Gray Maynard. He's beaten B.J. Penn 3 times. He's beaten Charles Oliveira. I mean, the man has the resume. I guess the question is, do you think that age is going to start to catch up to him? I like Frankie Edgar in this fight. I think what's really tainting my opinion and my point of view on this fight is Chito. Like, what would have happened if O'Malley wasn't hurt and Chito? I don't know, man. I think this will be a good fight too, but I'm going with plus 135 with Frankie Edgar. I mean, Vera's got 2 inches on him in height and reach. Takedown Frankie's got more of a takedown average, but also Vera's got the accuracy on the takedown average. I think this might go either TKO on the ground or a submission. We're gonna see some submission attempts, and I think that's gonna be the game plan with these guys. Shoot as much as you can. Time your takedowns, and I don't know. I think this would be a great fight too. I love watching bantamweights just because they're so damn tough. I mean, like, with what they lack in power, they make up for it with toughness. I mean, look at Brian Ortega. That Brian Ortega Volkanovski fight, that's featherweight, but still, like, these 135, 145 pound guys, like, they don't hit as hard as a feather or as a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. These big guys. So what they lack in that power, they make up for it with their toughness. I think Frankie Edgar wins this fight. That's who I'd pick. Let's just go ahead and stay on the trend of moving along here. And then, so we got the women's strawweight title fight. Doug Rose versus Zhang Weili. This is a sequel, and I like Weili in this fight. She's favorited. I think she wants her belt back, man. And I mean, think about this. If Rose didn't hit her with that one kick that stunned her, I think this is going to be a hell of a fight. I think there's going to be blood. I think there's going to be tears. I'm not as well versed on the women's side of things. I did watch Rose win this belt in April. I watched them. This rematch is going to be great. It's just, I think, like I said, I think there's going to be blood. I think this is going to be an ugly fight. These women are tough as nails. They're scary. Okay, and let's get in to Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington, the welterweight championship. It's a lot to unpack here, and I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Usman came into the UFC as a wrestler, submission artist, ground game, and he's beginning to be considered one of the most surgical fighters with their hands. And I think that is something that not a lot of fighters have been able to achieve. When you think of the greatest fighters of all time, you know, Silva, St. Pierre, McGregor, John Jones, Cormier. What really set them apart from everyone was how they were great at every side of the game. I mean, look at any sport. Why was Michael Jordan so good? Yeah, he was scoring 30 a game, but he was also locking down your best player. He was getting Defensive Player of the Year under the radar. I like Usman in this fight. I really do. I think the way that the last fight ended, maybe, it was semi-controversial because of the stoppage. But, I mean, Covington was keeping the pace up, keeping it fast and quick and in his face, making Usman think quick and react and be tough. I like Covington too. I loved watching him fight. And like I said, let me also say this and retract. I'm fairly new into this game, this whole UFC MMA thing, and like for you MMA purists out there, maybe you're like, oh, fuck this guy, but like, hey guys, I'm just having fun here. I'm trying to whenever I get into things, I'm such a nerd, and I love talking about sports at the end of the day, and this is a stacked card. Like this is going to be 5 hours of just pure entertainment. Like, and there's going to be so many. And I think the beautiful thing about like these big pay-per-views is like there's going to be so many different styles and different types of fights, weight classes, heights, nationalities, personalities, all in one night, because each weight division, you got women's fights, you've got men's fights, you've got guys who are cutting weight who maybe really are supposed to be in welterweight who are fighting in lightweight, and they're a jiu-jitsu guy versus another jiu-jitsu guy. You got a boxer versus a kickboxer. Each fight is like its own world and universe in one, and I'm just really excited for this fight. Covington, Usman, I mean, it's been anticipated. The way that they have, the press release for this one has been probably, I mean, it was better than, obviously that lightweight the lightweight belt last week, and then, the bantamweight. They have done an amazing job of building the hype up. Covington is pure entertainment. Usman is pure entertainment. Like I was saying, though, about Chandler and Gaichi is like, yeah, they can shit talk if they need to, but they're more like, let's leave it all in the ring. And Covington kind of has taken a page out of the McGregors of the world, the John Joneses, and it's worked for him, except one fight, and it was against Usman, and here we are. You know, I think Usman will win this fight, but hey, if Covington wins, there's going to be a third one. And there's no question about it. All right, so anyway, I'm going to leave it at this. One more time, I'm going to go through here and give who I think will win responsibly. Do what you want with this. I'm not going to say go bet the house on this or even bet on it, but this is who I'm rocking with tonight. Ian Kinta, Alex Pierre, Justin Gaichi, Frankie Edgar, Zhang Weili, and Kamaru Usman. Let me know how you feel about these picks. Let me know your picks tonight and tell me why. Tag me, message me. Let's talk about this because this is going to be an amazing night. I'm going to be live tweeting it. I might try and set up a YouTube live stream. Yeah, guys. I mean, this. I haven't recorded an episode in a couple weeks. I've been busy. I got a new job. I'm gonna get into that another time. I don't want this to be too long because the fights are in a few hours. I want this to be fresh though, so you guys can watch this and then cut the early prelims on and let it rock. Really, you can let it rock while you're watching the early prelims because I don't know anything about the early prelims. So, yeah, guys, let me know what your picks are. Let me know how you feel about this card. This is going to be an amazing night. Canelo Alvarez is fighting too. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't know shit about boxing. But man, UFC 268, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost time.